So last class we had completed with money market. What are the functions of money market? How does it work? What is the purpose? And we also studied various instruments used in the money market. So we remember that money market refers to short-term borrowing, that is raising of working capital, and those instruments mature within one financial year. Yes or no? Now here we are moving on to the second main important topic called as capital market. Your financial markets are divided into two categories, money market and capital market. So let's study capital market. It refers to the trade or market of long-term or medium-term funds which provide the long-term capital to commercial undertaking, corporate sector, government undertaking, etc. As I just told you, money market focuses on short-term borrowing. So opposite, capital market focuses on long-term borrowing. Either you get medium-term funds or long-term funds. So whom does it categorize or provide services to? Commercial undertakings, corporate sectors, government undertakings, etc. Right? Wide range of investors we have, right from institutional investors to banks to companies to corporates to government itself. Capital market provides long-term funds or long-term finance. And we know two categories capital market is divided into, that is primary market and secondary market. So first let's study what are the functions, various functions of capital market. Number one, it deals with both medium and long-term finance. As I told, short-term finance is only left for money market. So what else is left? Medium as well as long-term. Let's say for maybe for 5 years, 1 to 5 years to more than that. Which market provides capital? It is capital market. Second, the capital market deals with shares, debentures, bonds, government securities, etc. Now here we are talking about only those instruments which provide us long-term capital, which becomes a part of the capital or long-term funds in the company's growth. Is that clear? Whereas here we saw money market deals with all the other instruments which mature within 90 days or 182 days, etc. But here we have these instruments maturing above one financial year. So what are the instruments traded in capital market? Shares, debentures, bonds, government securities, etc. Because all these share or maturity periods are more than one financial year. Number three, it serves as an important source of productive use of savings. Now, in case you want to save, let's say for an example, 500 or 100 every month, then you can go for money market savings because that is what? Short term, and it will also enable you liquidity. But in case you want to have good amount of return and you have enough amount of savings, let's say 5 lakh or 10 lakh as savings. Now, this is the best platform, capital market, to make use of your savings. That means a productive use. Not only your money is put in an investment avenue, but also it is productive enough. What do you mean by productive? Productive means it is able to give you fair returns. It is able to give you fair returns. So the same money, if I put it in a bank account like FD account, for an example, let's say it offers me 5% interest on whatever deposit I have made, my capital market must at least make 5.5 or 5.6% return on the same investment. That's why I call it as important source of productive use. Okay, that's what I mean, productive use. It is giving me more amount of returns than compared to bank deposit. That is the traditional way of putting your savings, correct? Every other person would first go to bank deposit, but capital market will enable you to give a higher amount of returns upon your savings. Number 4, it helps the mobilizing of savings on a larger scale. Now here we are talking about When we are investing in a capital market instrument such as shares, debentures, government securities, my money or my savings is not just helping, having a short term gain or just helping another company, etc. But here, all these funds collected in capital market becomes a initial investment or initial project cost for a company, right, or for a government. It will mobilize the savings on a very larger scale, because on stock market or on stock exchange, we have so many companies involving in so many different industries. We have FMCG, automobile, pharmaceutical, right? We have so many industries, so our savings are getting mobilized on a very, very larger scale, where we saw in money market very limited, correct? But here it is mobilizing on a very larger scale. So my investment or my savings can become a basic investment for or a cost of project for an FMCG industry, right? Or some industries may use that money to procure a high-end equipment or a high-end leased machinery, right? So therefore, my savings are getting mobilized on a very larger scale, that is totally occupying the economic development, not just personally where liquidity is available or where it is just benefiting one single party. But here in capital market, my savings has been mobilized across the economy and causing the economy to develop. It is not just savings about one person I'm talking about. Remember that I'm talking about savings of every individual or every institution. What do you mean by institution? It can be bank, it can be a corporation, or it can be a company. Okay, it can be cooperative society, anybody, right? So it is a savings of people, savings of institutions combined, so that savings can mobilize on a very larger scale. Next, it helps in effective distribution of the mobilized funds for a balanced economic development. So it not only will mobilize it, money will not only move across the sectors of India, but also helps in effective distribution. I'm not just distributing my savings or money, I am effectively distributing. Who is this? Capital market. Capital market helps in effective distribution. So it will be able to allocate money or allocate the funds in the right need or in the right source. Okay, all the mobilized funds, it makes sure it has been distributed effectively. So which sector or which department needs money for the project or for the investment in technology or procurement of equipment or a machine, right? So therefore effectively it's going to distribute to various companies, to various sectors, or to government of India. That way what happens, the money is moving evenly, the money is getting effectively distributed across the sectors of the economy. What will that impact, or what will that will result in? It will result in balanced economic development. I should not focus just in a particular city or in a particular company. My focus will be on a very larger scale because it is capital market. And that way what happens, when the distribution is even, overall the country or the economy will be developed. That's the meaning of balanced economic development. I'm not just focusing on industries, I'm not just focusing on corporate sectors. I focus on agricultural sectors, I focus on pharmaceutical, I focus on exports, imports, right? I focus on foreign trade. All these I am getting equal importance in capital market. That will lead to balanced economic development. Next, it helps in capital formation in the country. As I told, capital market, as the name itself says, capital market. That means it's going to raise capital for various companies. So when you put all these companies, industries, government, agriculture, trade, everything put together, it becomes what? One country or one economy. That's what it says. Capital market helps in for capital formation in the country. So within the country, there are sectors, departments, and various areas where we require capital. How can I form that capital? With the help of capital markets. When you as a shareholder, let's say you are a shareholder and you are purchasing 100 shares of a company, so automatically the shares is going to go to the particular company and form a share capital. So what is it? Capital formation. So you, in the form of capital market, when you contribute, it becomes a part of capital formation for various companies. Next, it facilitates increase in production, productivity in the economy, and enhances the economic welfare of the country. When there is continuous flow of funds, okay, when there is continuous flow of funds through capital market, what does it impact? Its impact we can see in there is increase in production, there is increase in productivity. Don't get confused, these are not same words. Production and productivity are two different words. Production is how much have you manufactured. I've manufactured 100 units this week, okay, or I've manufactured 1000 units this month. That is production. What is productivity means? How efficient are you in the producing? Are you able to achieve income? Are you able to maximize your profit with minimum investment? Okay, basically with if I'm investing 100 rupees in a particular project, am I getting 150 rupees out of it? You getting my point? Is my investment productive? Am I getting income or return or profits from my investment? That is called as productivity, or other word we can use is efficiency. How efficient are you in cutting down the unnecessary wastage cost? Got my point? In the economy and enhances economic welfare. So I'm focusing on the welfare of the economy, not just company, not just a small partnership firm, but as an overall capital market focuses on enhancing the economic welfare of the country. Last one, it provides productive avenues for the investors, particularly the household sector, to invest in capital asset than physical asset. Now, I want you to go back to the first unit. There we discussed about financial assets. You remember that financial assets? There we saw two categories. These are the ones, capital assets and physical assets. Capital assets are where right now we are talking shares, debenture, bonds, government securities, etc. What are physical assets? Land and building, any immovable property. You got my point? Those are called as physical assets. So this capital market will give you productive avenue, okay, for investors. Now these investors can be individuals like you and me, or they can be institutional investors, both ways, okay. Now especially the household sector, they can start household sector, meaning to say salaried people or people having very low income. Even these people or this category of household sector people can start investing where? In capital market compared to physical assets. Okay, you can invest in capital asset rather than in physical asset, because capital asset will give you a more higher return, and it's also easy to trade in the stock exchange compared to land. Have you ever seen land and building getting traded on stock exchange? No, that is impossible, correct? So physical assets are different from capital assets. Comparatively, you can have a good return on capital asset compared to physical asset. Yes, physical asset will have return, will have profits, but comparatively it is capital asset that is more efficient. So that is why capital market provides you these avenues. Is that clear? These are the various functions or features of what? Capital market. Hope you have understood the concept of capital market and the functions of the capital market. Now, since we have completed money market concept and capital market, I want you to understand the difference between the two. Okay, what is the difference between money market and capital market? Let's start with the meaning. So, money market is for lending and borrowing short period. So remember that money market and capital market, what are the two things you need to remember? Money market means short-term borrowing. Capital market means long-term borrowing. Is that clear? Long-term borrowing. And financial instruments are traded. What are the instruments traded in money market? Treasury bills, commercial bills, trade credit, etc. What are the instruments traded in capital market? Shares, debentures, government securities, etc. How about the risk factor? How risky is your investment? In money market, your risk is very much low. I'm not telling it is nil. The risk factor is very low. That means the possibility that you will lose your money is very low. But in the capital market, the risk factor is very high. Okay, suddenly if the market crashes, right, suddenly if we always seen this capital market that I'm talking about, stock exchanges, we always see anything that happens in and around the world, any rumors about government or about any amalgamation about certain companies or international market, what happens, all those changes or news will impact your stock markets, and that might lead you to a heavy loss. That's why it is called as very risky. If you get profits, you will get super profits, but if you are facing loss, it's a complete loss. That's why we call as capital market a very highly risky market. Now, what is the time period for money market? Within a year. We very well know it is within one financial year. Compared to capital market, it is always more than one financial year. What is the return? We discussed about the risk in both the markets. Let's discuss about the return in both the markets. In money market, we have very less return because your investment is very less. Therefore, even your return will be less. When I'm talking about capital market, where your investment is high, because we are talking about long-term funds and medium-term funds, accordingly, the return on such investment will be comparatively high when I'm comparing to money market return. Hope you have understood the differences between money market and capital market. This question can be asked for a section B. Okay, please explain the difference between money market and capital market. You have to mention what is the meaning of both the concepts, what are the instruments traded, what is the amount of risk involved, what is the time period for which they are traded, and what is the return on investment in both the markets. Is that clear? Hope you have understood today's topic.